Hey, it's Colleen.
Hi, it's Kate.
And it's Megan.
And we're the
Three Scheme Queens. Join us as we discuss popular hoaxes and give you our comedic take on what is fact and what is fiction. If you have a sense of humor and an open mind, come take this journey with us.
We'll tell you what we think, and we'll try to prove it to you.
Is this thing on?
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Welcome.
Guten Morgen.
Look at this cute little boy next to me.
Oh, I was like, what boy are you talking about?
Tanner Banana.
Oh, tea bags?
Yeah, tea bags.
Tea bags.
I love when he greets me.
I know.
Yappy.
No, excited.
It's like,
He really just loves Kate and Colleen because they tell him what a good dog he is. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that dog who's been barking? No.
Me and that dog. Love that dog.
You were trauma bonded.
Yeah, we've been through the ringer.
poor Tanner.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
The best thing about Tanner is that if you have a blanket around your legs, he likes to burrow.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
He's
it is really funny.
He truly burrows.
Yeah,
Anything else going on, guys?
we're heading into fall.
Happy fall,
I guess it's
y'all.
fall.
It's a little chilly
It's
out.
been fun.
It's technically,
I was
but
really
it's chilly
excited.
today.
Yeah, I
I-
love it. I got in the car, it was 50 degrees. I was like,
I
"Oh,
know.
this is it.
Did you have your vest on?
No, just
Well,
this jacket.
I'm almost like, is it time to leave my window open?
Oh my gosh, I did that yesterday.
Yeah, I think it is. It stayed pretty cool all day. I love having my window open.
That's like spoken like a New Englander.
Yeah, I love having my window open all winter long.
So is it time for our
Drink
Yeah,
check.
drink check.
This is a sponsored drink check. This is Amarula, sponsored by Lindsay. Thank you very much, Lindsay. This is an African fruit drink, African fruity cream drink.
Well, it sounds like
It's like a fermented fruit.
it's like a cream liqueur like Bailey's, but then it has this fruit
It's so yummy.
from the African marula tree,
Marula.
which you were telling us.
The monkeys eat the rotten fruit to get drunk on purpose.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Right? So when we drink this, we're like little monkeys.
It's pretty good. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah,
That's
something.
awesome.
We drank it over some ice.
That's how Lindsay directed me to.
Yeah,
But I think we're gonna make it into an espresso martini.
yeah, we're gonna try that.
I think it'll taste yummy.
But obviously, it's got dairy in it. so
Yeah.
Kate's doing her own thing. What you doing, Kate?
I'm doing a good old fashioned Diet Coke, y'all.
Diet Coke.
Love it.
Diet Coke.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So, Kate, back when she was in school, when she was mostly commentating, she did do one of her own episodes. And when I went to edit it, the sound quality was terrible.
Yeah.
To this day, I still don't know what we did wrong.
And we recorded all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally, it was an all day. And so I was like,
Three
we did
different
like
episodes. got
4
ruined.
episodes. We did four episodes. And the sound was off on all of them. That was heartbreaking. So we've taken it. We fixed some of them. We took down that episode. And so because Kate's going to do some more Titanic episodes for
Yeah.
us, I'm really excited for the next one.
Oh my gosh.
We thought we would just go back and re-record her first one so
Yeah.
that you all can enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the conspiracy theories that you guys know about the Titanic?
I know all of them.
Oh, because you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the one that it was an inside job.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're
They're
all
all that it was
sort
an
of-
inside
they're
job.
kinda all
But
like
isn't
that,
that
yeah.
like with the Federal Reserve?
Oh my gosh, my favorite one.
Yeah.
Which is not the one we're doing. today.
Not the fun one. Yeah, not the one.
No,
we're
because
doing.
you wanted to do that one after school.
Yeah, because it's
So
that-
good.
yeah.
That's the one I believe the most.
Me too.
What other ones are there, Colleen?
The bait and switch, which is
We're
what
gonna do
talking about
today.
today,
Uh-huh.
which is also like insurance fraud. The Federal Reserve.
Well, this isn't really a conspiracy theory, but there's a theory that if they hadn't closed those watertight doors,
They would have actually
they could
floated.
have stayed floating.
Hmm.
the bait and switch, which we're going to talk about today, and that goes into like a deliberate sinking for insurance purposes. There's a theory that a fire in the coal bunker was ongoing before the voyage and weakened the ship's structure, contributing to its sinking.
Oh.
And then that there was like an intentional cover up. There's a theory that the sinking was orchestrated by the powerful elites, including the Illuminati, because there were so many prominent figures. I think that goes into the Federal Reserve, like we talked about.
There's a theory that a mummy's curse actually doomed the Titanic.
Oh, now that I believe.
I mean, on the heels of our ancient Egypt.
Obviously.
episode.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
There's also a theory that there was like a naval vessel that was in the area and it could have caused Titanic sinking or it didn't help them, which goes into like, was this all
Oh, I knew that too,
planned
actually.
sinking?
There's something about another ship. I knew that one.
Yeah, so there's lots of conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this one we were talking about today is called the bait and switch.
I have got to work on my Irish accent for this one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was pretty good.
Thank
Mhm,
you.
mhm. Okay, so today we're talking about Titanic bait and switch.
Mhm.
On April 10th, 1912, the Titanic set sail for her maiden voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. She was a beautiful ship, designed for British luxury and coined the Millionaire's Special. She was journeying from Southampton, England, with the hope of touching shores in New York, but she never made it. As many of you know, she had an unfortunate collision with iceberg right ahead and capsized in the middle of the ocean between April 14th and 15th, 1912. With approximately 1,500 deaths, most of them coming from the crew and the third-class passengers, it is one of the most infamous tragedies in both American and British history.
I'm so glad you said iceberg right ahead because as you recall, when we did this the first time, we all thought it was straight ahead.
Yes.
And we were like, wait, this is a Mandela effect.
Yes. Yes.
But the line is actually
Right ahead.
right ahead. And
Yep.
So
Who does that?
the Watchmen.
Yeah, one of the guys.
Remember they're like in the movie they're watching
yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet get it on and they're like, oh, they look cozy.
Yeah.
They're warmer than we are. Ha ha
With
ha.
the hand.
And then they turn around and they see the big freaking iceberg.
Yeah. I think I would not be, I'd be like, oh no.
I'd be like, who do I report this to?
Kate, how many times did you see Titanic?
See it in theaters.
I mean, it was a double cassette.
Oh yeah, I had the double VHS.
Yeah.
And I believe that the handprint, your favorite scene, Colleen,
Yeah, the
might have
sex
been like
scene.
the end of the first cassette.
Yeah.
Like the last scene of the first cassette.
Yeah.
With the hand down the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen it on ABC Family.
Leo D.
I definitely saw it in theaters like
Me too.
probably a dozen times.
I saw it with my mom.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, there's a naked lady.
I was gonna say, what did you do during the Paris scene? Pay me like one of all your French
Well,
people.
you guys know,
I mean, I think I just watched it quietly.
two of our friends, Kathy and Marie, bonded over skipping class to go watch Titanic.
Those little rebels.
Yeah.
Crazy animals.
Skipping class?
Yeah.
I've never done that
Me
before.
neither. I never went to Chick-fil-A instead of class in high school before.
My God, guys.
There's a
Oh,
lot
sorry.
happening.
I'm moving.
I definitely, we're talking about high school now? Girl,
No, I never did
I was the
that.
queen of cutting in high school. My dad has really bad handwriting, so he was an easy signature to
Oh my
sound.
God, guys.
Yeah.
I never did any of that.
Little goody two shoes.
No, I never even thought to do that. I remember one time I was puking so much my mom called me out of school. This was in high school, and I was sobbing because I still wanted to go to school. And then I come back the next day, and my AP Spanish teacher screamed at me for missing class
Oh,
because it was like a presentation day.
toxic.
It was so
Yeah.
bad. My anxiety was so
And then you picked a
unreal.
career where you're also not allowed to take a sick day.
Yeah, where I was also gaslit.
What? You were an AP Spanish?
Yeah,
Girl.
and I got a 4 on the test.
Oh, she passed.
Yeah,
I got a 4 in my statistics.
That
I got a
I failed my.
So I got out of statistics 102, but I had to take statistics 101.
I got a 2 in AP US history and a 1 in calculus.
Oh my God!
I don't even know how I got
sit
the
for my
one.
AP calculus.
It was
I
awful.
I
We had no
didn't even-
choice.
Yeah.
We had to.
No. It would have been laughable.
It was
If
awful. I hated that class. I don't know
calculus
why I
was
took it.
That was a class I got kicked out of
Well, I actually had.
because I could not do it, so I just flirted with
I
the
only
boys around.
I feel like before Bourbon Boy, you probably
Love the boys.
were so boy crazy.
Love the boys.
I actually had to get math was always my strong suit, and then
Yeah.
I struggled in pre-calc, and I actually had to get a tutor who he was like one of the math teachers at the school, and he told my mom, he's like, it's just like people think about things in two ways. Either they're like good at statistics or they're good at calculus. And he's like, do not.
Oh, I was just gonna say, that's a thing.
Yeah, he's like, do not put this girl in calculus. And so then he put me in statistics, and I think I did meh in the class, but
It made more sense.
4 on the test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Statistics always made more sense. To
I
me
did
than
so
calculus.
good
That
at
is so
statistics.
interesting.
Mhm.
I'm better at statistics than calculus. Calculus, I was like, I don't understand this whole imaginary number.
Mhm.
It never, what is it? It always approaches 0, but it never
The limit
makes.
does not exist.
Yeah, the limit doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, or like, I don't even know, derivatives. I just remember sitting in that class. I sat in the back, and then he'd be like, Kate, come sit in my seat. And he would make me come sit in his desk.
Oh, that's
But
creepy.
then I would get
Hold
in
on.
trouble
That's
No.
creepy.
because it was at the front of the front
No.
of the class.
This all comes
No.
back to the fact that I hope I can say this, that Kate's son
Yeah.
always has to sit by the teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Kate just had an epiphany well into her 30s that she always had to sit by the teacher, and she thought it's just because the teacher liked her so much.
God.
And she just now was like, wait, was I the problem?
I was the problem.
I was the chatty Cathy.
But that's the problem because I was too good. Like I wasn't not too good, but like my grades didn't slip,
yeah.
so they didn't know what to do with me.
So they just stuck
So
you
they
next
just
to him.
yeah.
Pretty
I was
serious.
like playing in his desk.
Well, he
was
put you
like-
there. Hold
yeah,
on.
but, like looking back, not a go. Okay.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, but I was like,
Well, he
I don't
put you there.
understand what's happening, so I'm just gonna mess around.
I only ever accidentally skipped class freshman year of college because I was drugging myself unknowingly
Um,
and then falling asleep for hours at a time.
I failed a class in college because
Oh
billiards.
my God.
billiards.
Billiards at 8 a.m. I was in class
I
with my
What
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh my God. Throwback.
Clemson education did you get?
A
Yeah.
great one. I had over a 3.5 with a failing grade. Okay.
I had a 4.0 except for one class in which I got a B,
Megan's a nerd.
organic chem.
OChem is hard.
Back on track here.
Okay, so a little background for you. In the early 1900s, the shipping industry was at full peak, especially those voyages seeking to cross the Atlantic. These ships were used for trade as well as vacations for the wealthy high socialites of that time. White Star, a company looking to enter the competition for transatlantic cruises, started construction on 3 large liners that would be recognized for their speed and comfort. These 3 vessels were named the Olympic, the Britannica, and the Titanic. The Titanic featured a large, upscale dining room, 4 elevators, and a swimming pool. It had 16 compartments that included steel doors that could be used to close and contain water should the vessel be breached. The designers and builders claimed that 4 of the compartments could be filled with water and it would not affect the buoyancy of the Titanic. She would continue to float. Because of these characteristics, the Titanic was deemed unsinkable. She was one of the largest and luxurious ships of her time. She was a real 10 out of 10, you know?
Heck yeah.
At 882.5 feet long and 92.5 feet wide.
That's pretty wide.
She had a carrying capacity of approximately 46,000 tons and weighed about 52,000 tons. But was this horrible tragedy just an accident? Or could it be something more sinister? Could the Titanic have been launched on not only her maiden voyage, but a suicide mission? Let's talk about it.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, ba-da-bum. Okay, so there's this whole insurance fraud conspiracy that Colleen sort of talked about earlier. So there's this theory that's floating around about the Titanic that the ship itself was not actually the Titanic. It was the Olympic, which, again, like I said earlier, was a ship that was designed
Identical.
by the White Star Company. What?
Weren't they identical?
They look very similar. The Olympic had sustained an accident, and the idea is that the Titanic was actually switched out with the Olympic set out to sail on the quote Titanic's maiden voyage and actually was sunk because they wanted to get the insurance money from it. So that is the conspiracy. What do you think about
good
that?
old Baton's voyage.
Well, unfortunately, since we've already talked about this,
I know this.
I don't believe it.
Ah, do you think I can get our listeners?
But I don't think I believed it before
No, Colleen and I both did believe this experience
because you'd seen it on
Yeah.
TikTok.
yeah. We were
Well-
like, duh, this is absolutely 100%
And
true.
like, spoiler, TikTok did not include all the details.
No.
Yeah.
But also, I think a lot of times I'm like looking at all the conspiracy theories that I'm like believing. I'm like, I'm always thinking people are out to get other people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know,
I
you're
mean, you
always-
gotta think like that.
Yeah.
what do you always say?
Follow the money, which is going to be our next episode on Titanic.
Ho, 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 ho.
So, as noted above, the White Star Lines built 3 large liners in the early 1900s: the Olympic, the Titanic, and the Britannica. While the Titanic's maiden voyage was set in the year 1912, the Olympic had already been sailing the seas for about a year prior. History says that the Olympic was retired in 1935 due to its many problems and has been sold for scraps. Conspiracy theorists, however, disagree. The Olympic had already experienced her own collision before the Titanic even hit the waters in Southampton. In September 1911, the Olympic had an ill-fated collision with another ship that ended up in costly repairs. These repairs were done in the Belfast shipyard, where the Titanic was currently under construction. That's suspicious.
That's weird.
You can actually see here with the Olympic, I, again, will post these pictures to Instagram. There's actually like a really large gash sort of taken out of the side of the Olympic. It was on the
poop
I
deck?
think it's the stern. I had it wrong. It was on the bow of the ship, so you can kind of see it.
The rear of the boat is the stern.
Oh, okay. I always feel like the bow should be the back. Just
Well, and then I don't know,
you
and then
think bow, back, you know, stern,
and then you have
front.
port side and starboard.
Where's the poop deck? That's all that matters to me.
That's a good question.
It is the deck that forms the roof of a cabin built in the rear.
I just think poop deck, and I just think of birds pooping on the deck. Poop deck.
Well, it is an actual part of the ship.
Anyway, so this is where conspiracy theorists have sort of, theorized that the switch could have occurred. So since the ships were in the same place at the same time, Titanic was being built, the Olympic had this huge gash in her side, and they were like, they just switched the boats. So they claim that the damage to the Olympic was so expensive that the owners decided to switch it with the Titanic and deliberately sink the ship to collect an insurance claim.
So did the Olympic go on to sail after all this? Like after the Titanic is done, the Olympic was still standing?
Yes, I love the footprint of the Olympic's life. She has a lot of good things that she did
Oh,
later on.
we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're going to talk
okay.
about that. Yeah.
So the Olympic is hit. You're theorizing they were like, man, this is too much to fix. So we're just gonna rename the Olympic the Titanic, rename the Titanic the Olympic.
Right.
The Olympic, which we're the formerly Titanic, now Olympic, which we're building, is just gonna go on to be a great ship, and we're gonna just destroy the Titanic, which was the Olympic, so we don't have to like deal with the repair.
So we can get the money
Okay.
for the ship.
I believe
Okay.
it.
Was the damage,
It was extensive.
was it like in the same spot that the
Iceberg hit?
iceberg hit?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because maybe
I don't know.
the ship sunk because there was already damage to all of those
Oh,
water compartments.
yeah, the compartments.
Yeah, I need more details.
Okay.
All right,
all right.
proceed.
So the evidence claims that there is a picture of the Titanic in the scrapyard in 1935. Think back, the Olympic was retired in 1935 after all of the voyages that she did. The Titanic sank in 1912.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
1912, yep.
Anyway, there's a picture of the Titanic in the scrapyard in 1935, and it's sort of like made its way around online,
Mhm.
and this theory started to spread quickly.
This is what you guys saw on TikTok when you bought into this, right?
Right.
Yes.
This specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a color picture, and it's definitely the Titanic right there. The historians say that this photograph was actually a black and white photograph of the Titanic taken in September of 1911 in Belfast, Northern Ireland,
Which is where it was built.
which is where
The shipyard they were both
it actually
Yeah.
was.
So
This
someone just
picture-
took this 1912 photo, doctored it, added some color, and
Yep.
they were like, "Oh, this is from the 1930s."
Yep, 1935.
Yeah.
Again, this all just goes back to social media,
Right,
like how scary the
misinformation.
internet. Yeah, anyone can tell any tale on the internet, and we take it as fact.
Right. Which is why when Megan and I send each other reels, we're like,
Fact check this.
is this real?
Hold on.
We fact check each other,
Yeah.
depending on who has time to
Yeah.
do a deep dive.
So anyway, the claim is that another claim is that the ships are actually like identical. They look very similar. They both have four steam. What is that? What are those called?
Chimneys.
A smokestack.
Okay,
A
they both have
smokestack.
4 smokestacks, and they're both like black and white. They're both very large. They do look very similar. However, the main differences between the two vessels, the Titanic was slightly larger than the Olympic. The Titanic weighed about 46,000 tons, when the Olympic weighed about 45,000 tons. The Titanic was more luxurious than the Olympic. The Olympic had a secondary promenade on the B deck, and the Titanic actually did not have a secondary promenade. Instead, it had more first-class cabins.
How do they weigh a ship?
Buoyancy in the water? Isn't it like
Oh,
Displacement.
okay.
displacement?
Well,
Yeah,
does
I
that
don't-
give you
I
your
say this, I
volume
don't
or
know.
your weight?
I think it's
Oh, you're right. That would
it's got to be
displacement.
something with
Yeah.
displacement.
I don't know. I'm
with-
really
if it-
intrigued by shipbuilding now. But the differences you're describing made a lot more sense when we looked at the pictures.
Yeah.
And Megan on the website has all the pictures.
Yes, the
It's
way
displacement?
it's the displacement.
Yeah.
There are numbers painted on the side of the hull, which indicate the displacement of water caused by the ship under different load conditions, which in turn gives us a weight. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
cheers, Kate.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I asked. Physics.
Physics.
Yeah.
Physics, yeah.
Which
I
really,
think that
Kate's the
sounds like
physics
physics.
pro here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took physics.
Mhm.
I did too.
I did too, but
I got actually a
You get-
scholarship in physics.
you get passionate about physics.
Physics, chemistry, bio, all the things.
Literally.
Okay. So the Titanic is more just like well known because it sank. So the Olympic was actually a troop ship in the First World War, and then it returned to the vessel of luxury and fun for civilians. So after 24 years, she was deemed unviable and then sold for scraps. And the Titanic's promenade deck was sheltered with windows when the Olympic's deck was completely open. The Titanic, in theory, was like a safer ship. Jokes on them, right?
I know, literally.
She's unsinkable,
Mhm.
Unsinkable ships sink.
When we recorded this the first time, I do recall asking who the heck bought the scraps.
The Greek military bought the
But
scraps.
that felt very suspicious to me.
Yeah, somehow I remember that the Greek military bought the scraps.
No,
but
no,
I
no, that was with the Philadelphia Project.
Oh, really?
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Then
you.
who bought the Titanic scraps?
God, your memory, girl.
Yeah. Because I said something about Greece.
Can I get a fact check? Who bought the Titanic? scraps?
I'm looking. Who bought the Olympic scraps?
Yeah.
Oh, because the Titanic scraps are in the ocean.
It says here, Colleen, that they kind of disassembled
I was just reading that, and you can find different pieces of
in
it.
different places.
Yeah, like there's a
And there's a bunch of museums in Massachusetts. Have you been? I know you've been to the
No.
one in
I've
Ireland.
been to the one in Ireland, but you can see the grand staircase from the Olympic at some hotel in England. That might be a good work trip for us.
Work trip.
Yeah.
Celebrity Cruises has an Olympic restaurant that's just like all
Yeah.
stuff from the Olympic.
Like, this is kind of cool.
It says the Titanic Historical Society in Indian Orchard, Springfield,
Oh,
Massachusetts.
It's in Springfield.
Yeah, it kind of
Oh.
sounds like they just sold off the pieces to various
Oh yeah, the
buyers.
fittings from the Olympic were auctioned off over 10 days in November 1935
Oh.
at the Palmer Works.
Oh.
Wow, so people just own chunks of it.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
But there was one key difference that actually made the Titanic safer. Her bridge extended out on the ship on both sides, giving the senior crew a better view around the sides of the ship. On the Olympic, the bridge was flush with the sides, so they couldn't see as well. I mean, did it help them see any better?
Okay.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Yeah. Iceberg right ahead,
Literally.
This did, of course, all change because after the Titanic sank, The Olympics Bridge was actually widened to make it safer, and more lifeboats were added so that passengers were much more likely to survive if the ship were to sink. So the question is, like, was it really widened, or is it just a different ship?
Mhm.
You know?
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the Titanic had more dining options. There were 2 new dining venues that were added to the Titanic. The Titanic windows were more irregular portholes on the B deck. So again, I will add pictures to the Instagram, and they're on our website for you to
Mhm.
see. But you can see on the B deck, it's like, you know, a window randomly every now and then, whereas the Olympics were pretty
Standard.
standard,
Yeah.
rhythmic.
Yeah.
Another claim is that the Olympic was withdrawn after the 1912 Titanic disaster and remodeled, then relaunched in 1914. She was given new paint, blocked out portholes, and sent into service to transport troops during World War One. Yeah, I love that.
We love that. What a supporter of the vets, you know?
Oh, conspiracy theorists say that this was actually the Titanic after the bait and switch. So
Yeah.
the like everything the Olympic has been recorded to have done in history
It was really the Titanic.
was really the Titanic.
Because the Olympics at the bottom of the ocean.
Right. However, the Olympics served as a chance to set things right in the liner industry, and after the Titanic's tragic ending, it was redesigned for safety. So that is what history is saying, claiming, you know?
Mhm.
Another dispute. The Olympic was photographed docked in New York on the day the Titanic set sail from Southampton, as seen in a photo taken by the Baines News Service that dated April 10th, 1912, and held in the Library of Congress. The photo shows part of the open A deck promenade, which is consistent with prior pictures of the Olympic. This, we know from above the Titanic's A deck, was covered with windows.
So that someone said, like, we have this picture
Yeah.
of the Olympic the day Titanic launched, and they have verified
Yeah.
the windows are the right windows.
The windows are the right windows, and it's in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how could it be also
Yeah.
in the ocean,
Yeah.
you know? Or, like, in a shipyard?
Yeah.
Another dispute, the open B deck of the Titanic, pictured in April 1912, matches the underwater images of the Magellan Limited 3D Limited scan. So the scan is actually amazing. I'm going to I'll post these again on the Instagram, but, like, just, like, ghastly of it, what it looks like under the water.
The captain of the Titanic who died on the Titanic
Mm-hmm.
was the captain who got the Olympic to New York City.
Oh, fun fact.
Isn't that sad? Like he had just did it,
Mm.
and then he died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is, well,
He went down with the ship, right?
he
Yeah.
did go down with the ship, but also, I mean, it was probably because he had just done it, right?
Yeah,
Because
so
they
he's
were going to New York
confident.
City too.
Yeah. New York City.
So yeah, so you can see underwater, you can see the open B deck on the Titanic that matches the picture of it, you know, setting sail. I can't believe she went for not even one trip.
Here they are photographed together.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So another dispute is the whole numbers don't match. So the Olympics whole number is 400 and the Titanic's was 401. And then different parts of the ship throughout the entire vessel carry parts of it with the particular whole number. A propeller was found on the sea floor etched with the number 401. So that matches the Titanic. And you can see it very clearly here on a propeller. 401, which matches the Titanic's whole number. Historians claim that there have been many sightings of the whole number amidst the wreckage of on the seafloor. And I can, tell you about a website with a lot of pictures of the wreckage on the seafloor with the number 401 on it, and I can post that to our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it.
So sounds like debunked.
Debunked.
Should be debunked, but I'm very intrigued by the upcoming
The Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve, because I'm just reading, of course, my favorite source reference, Wikipedia, for the Olympic, and it sounds like the shipping company that built these boats, the White Star Line,
Yeah.
Mhm.
was involved in a lot of
Yeah.
Shady
interesting
stuff.
Yeah.
financial decisions.
Yeah. Follow
The money.
the money.
Kate, thanks so much for redoing that for
Yeah,
us.
thank you guys for
Yeah.
listening.
That was a good one. And I think that on the anniversary of Titanic, we're going to have to
We're gonna do something
circle
big.
back.
Federal Reserve. If you guys want to do a little
If you're ready to abandon ship,
pre-game it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-game.
Pre-game the you know what, the Federal Reserve is very popular right now.
should we do like a midnight party
Inflation, if you will.
Midnight's party?
where we stay up till midnight when our episode releases? Like what Taylor Swift did?
Well, I think we need to have more followers.
Mom, if you want to stay up till midnight, come join us.
So
Mother on Spotify, please join us.
So no one's buying this one, right?
No.
No, you debunked it, but I believe the other ones.
Unfortunately. I
really
did really
the other
believe
ones.
this one.
It all just comes down to the windows and the B deck,
Yeah,
right?
Windows B deck and the whole number.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
whole
You know
number
what they
pictured at the
say.
end. I mean, it's just like
To the windows,
to the walls.
to the walls,
Yeah.
to the B deck.
Kate, what should the people do after
Yeah,
this episode?
if you guys enjoyed this episode and in listening to this, you were like, "Oh my gosh, this person I know would enjoy this episode." Do me a favor, open your phone right now, text this episode to that person, share it with them, and hopefully help us spread the listens out. But yeah, thank you for listening, and continue to share in your social medias. Leave us a comment in a 5-star review.
Mhm.
And yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
for
guys.
listening, guys. See you next Tuesday.
See you next
Bye.
Tuesday.